never been on a bus.
Heck of a long day, and I think I'm beginning to feel quite tired and fatigued now. Here we are, 6:50, Saturday the 16th on free bus Saturday, and I'm just about to jump on the 3X to Hungerford and start the busathon. So we're underway, we're on the 3X and we're just heading up towards Speen and then out onto the A4 and down the A4 to Hungerford. So I'll be looking forward to the journey. Well, thank you very much, Chris, for my first journey. Excellent. Thank you very much. A little bit of a
cheers.
panic when I saw the time, the departure for the X34, which is my next bus. According to the digital timetable at the bus station, it's at 8:29, which is only 15 minutes ahead of the 6A, which I'm catching from Donington village. So my plan is now to get the X34. I've just checked with the driver, he's leaving at the scheduled time, 8:19, which is a bit of a relief. So I'll be on the X34 to the last stop in West Berkshire, which oddly is the Vodafone campus. Thanks very much, mate. Have a good day. Cheers. The number 6 bus from East Ilsley, and I'm now sat with the ward councillor, Councillor Culver. Good morning, Councillor Culver.
Good morning, Steve. How are you doing?
Not too bad. It's been quite an interesting couple of hours. But can you tell me a little bit about what's happening today on the buses here in West Berkshire?
All of the buses in West Berkshire today are free to travel on, so if you want to go from the villages to do your last minute Christmas shopping into Newbury and back again, you can do that for free.
Hello there.
Okay, lovely. See you.
Have a good day. Have a good day.
Just scan those on the return journey. Give them a look.
So I'm on the number 4 out to Lambourne, and I've been joined by somebody who uses this bus regularly. Good morning, Jeanette. How are you?
Good morning. I'm not too bad, thank you. And
Yeah, very well. It's been a long day already, but we were just chatting off camera, and you were telling me how often you use this bus and how you rely on it to get around to visit family and friends.
yeah, so I normally come out on the Saturday morning bus to see my parents in Lambourne. My dad's got dementia and my mum's got arthritis. So I'm struggling to drive at the moment, so
Okay.
the bus is like invaluable for me to get out to Lambourne.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'd be able to do it without the bus, you know.
So what would you like to see from the bus service in West Berkshire? Because it's fairly infrequent, so there's not much flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, the Lambourne bus is only every 2 hours, so it would be nice if it was every hour, but yeah.
Yeah. And what about when you come back? What time do you have to come back?
So I get the 4:45 bus from Lambourne back to Newbury. So,
Is that the last bus?
no, this was at about 6:15, 7, but I like Strictly, so I like to get home for that. So.
Right, yes. Well, we all love Strictly Come Dancing.
Yes.
So, well, I hope you have a good day, and thanks for sharing your thoughts on the buses here in West Berkshire. Before we get to Lambourne, I've actually been joined by Penny Locke and Brian Quinn. So Penny, how often do you use the bus? I know you're a local celebrity in these parts.
I use it to go to Newbury to Educafe.
Yeah.
But I have to say I don't use it every week, and it's a habit that you really have to invest in, because you tell yourself it's easier to take the car, especially if you've got to carry something. But when I do take the bus, I so enjoy it, and I really vow to do it more often. So I really encourage people to give it a go. We're so dependent on cars, but it's really worth trying the bus.
Absolutely. And I think, as Jeanette was saying, you know, we could do with a bit more frequency, so that would be one of my wish lists, and later buses. So what do you think it would do for people in the rural areas if they could get to Newbury and back for an evening?
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, so you can only go out to a movie or a meal in Newbury if you drive, basically.
Yeah.
So I think that would be really useful.
Yeah. And are there any links down to Hungerford from
No,
Lambourne?
we've lost them.
Yeah.
We've lost all the. There used to be a requester bus to Hungerford that was axed because it wasn't used enough. But it's one of those chicken and egg situations that I'm not sure how well it was promoted that you could request it and how the mechanism works. But not enough people used it, sadly.
Yeah.
But we really miss it now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thanks for joining me today, Penny and Brian. So, back at Newbury bus station after being up to Lambourne and back, and we're waiting. Oh, I'm waiting for the number 8, which is supposed to go at 12:40. It's a few minutes behind schedule, and then it's the number 9. So number 8 goes up to Greenham Tesco's and back, and then the number 9 is down out to the racecourse estate and back. So yeah, a couple of tight connections in the next hour or so. So we'll see how it goes. May need to jump off on the outskirts of town to catch the number 9 on its way out. So we'll see. But yeah, it's all going well. I'm speaking to lots of people, and we'll catch up soon.
joined at the front of the top deck by this lovely couple. Can you tell me your names and why you're on the bus today?
Yeah, I'm Tom Catalina.
Hi.
Heard that it's free bus service today, so give it a try and avoid parking in town as well.
Fantastic, well, that's great to hear. So, so this is your first time on a bus for some time, is it?
Not for some times. I'm here in UK since 2019. I've never been on a bus.
Oh wow, well welcome, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, it's really good. I'm trying to promote bus services and get people on buses, so it's great to see that you're participating and hopefully the start of a long relationship with buses.
You never know.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much indeed. Cheers. It's gone 3:15. Just got back from Fatcham on the 1C, and yeah, uneventful. Nice and relaxing. Actually, spoke to a few people. Got a video with a former colleague of mine from. So I'm on the 1C to Fatcham and back to Newbury, and I've caught up with an old work colleague, Sophie, who's on the bus. Sophie, you were explaining earlier to me about why you take the bus. Can you just talk about your experience of the bus and free bus Saturday?
Yeah, so my daughter loves getting the bus. She's 4, and it's a lot cheaper than going to Newbury anyway on a normal day to park, especially if you're there a long time. But today it's free, so we are making the most of it. Instead of getting caught in all of that traffic and then having to find a parking space, especially as there's hardly any mum and baby parking spaces in Newbury these days, and yeah, and then having to pay God knows how much. So yeah, so that's why we're on the bus today, and the kids love it as well. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, and keep sharing your views on buses and encourage as many people to take the bus. Thanks a lot. Sophie. Bye.
And back into Newbury. So I'm now at the back at the bus station, and I'm waiting for the number 2 out to Pigeons Farm and Tesco's in Greenham via Elizabeth Avenue and Valley Road, and I'm hoping to catch up with Councillor David Marsh, one of the ward members for Wash Common, and hear his views as we travel on the number 2.
Make sure he shows you his pass. So David, it's good to see you on the bus, number 2. I know this is one that you use quite regularly in and out of town, but can you tell me why rural and urban bus services are so important, especially in your ward?
Well, as a senior citizen myself, I think it's great for everyone, but particularly for older people to get into town, do the shopping. And we're on the number 2, which goes all around Wash Common, which is where my ward is, where I'm the councillor for. And it's a pretty good service, pretty frequently, every hour. Could do with some buses at night, and at weekends on Sunday, which is something I'm hoping the council will do at some point. But it's an absolute lifeline for people. Not everyone's got a car. Even if you have got a car, it might be being used by another member of the family. So the bus for us, we're just about too far out to walk in easily. So it's absolutely brilliant, and I think it's pretty good value as well. It's free if you have a bus pass, which I'm proud to say I have. But I mean, at £2 a go, that's not unreasonable for people competitive with the cost of petrol or diesel or charging your electric car. So it's a pretty good way of travelling, getting about. But I think that free bus days are great, and we need more of them.
Thank you very much, David, and I hope you have a nice hour or two down in town afterwards. And another reason to have evening buses to encourage the nighttime economy.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because of course people can go in for the evening without worrying about having to have a designated driver. You can this time of year you probably want to celebrate and have a few beers or a few glasses of wine.
Absolutely.
No problem, hop on the bus.
So I'm here with Alan, who's been my driver on the number 2 out to Greenham Common and back via Wash Common. Alan, we were talking before we set off about how it's changed as a bus service locally in your last 15-20 years as a driver. Could you allude to how that is?
Yeah, sure. When I first started 20 years ago, services were a lot more frequent. There was a half-hour service up to Wash Common. There was an hourly service to Lambourne. The services were always packed. As the years have gone on, the service has been reduced with a timetable, whether or not that's with funding or not, but the numbers have also dropped. It would be good if we could encourage more people to back on the buses.
Yeah. Do you think that evening buses would help as well?
It would if it was priced correctly, because the cost of living and everything these days, and some sort of frequency, not just like 1 an hour, say once every half hour. It might encourage people to get out of their cars and back onto public transport.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your time, Alan, and thanks for your diligent duty over the years and today. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
The next stop is Chapel Corner. Is Rondeto Avenue. Grandstand.
Just got back into Newbury after being on the number 9. The Basingstoke link is due any time now. I'm at the Cheap Street bus stop opposite the Catherine Wheel, and I'm going to hopefully go to the Green and Business Park and then catch the link back from there in time. Should give me about 20 minutes leeway before catching the number 7, and that's the next pinch point. I'll get the number 7 down the Andover Road and get off down towards the border with North Hampshire. And this is probably the riskiest connection yet, because I've got to go down the Andover Road towards Washwater, and then I've got to get off and get back in approximately an hour's time, and so I've got about 45 minutes to get from the bottom of the Andover Road all the way back to catch the Jet Black. So the next hour may include a little bit of running in order to get back in good time and catch the Jet Black to Calcott and back. So let's see how we go. So just got off the number 7, the Andover bus, and I'm now heading back into Newbury. I've got about 40 minutes. Should be just about right, and but we'll see. And then I'm looking at getting the 6:55 Jet Black and meeting the chief executive of Reading Buses. I'm coming down the Andover Road. Time's a bit tight, so I've got my pace a little bit just to make sure, and make sure I don't miss the Jet Black, because if I do that I've got an hour or so to wait, and I'll miss my meeting with Robert from Reading Buses. I don't really want to do that, I'll be wasting his time, so it's paramount that I don't really want to do that, I'll be wasting his time, so it's paramount that I get down into town as soon as possible. Got a bit of stitch, but I think if I run a little as well as walk, I should be able to cover the distance. I'm just coming down to towards St. Bart's School. I've got about 10-15 minutes leeway, I think. Just going down past Gwyn Close. So we'll see how we're getting on. I'm checking nearer so I can concentrate on keeping my pace brisk. But it's been quite a day, quite an adventure. Hi everybody, I'm just heading down towards St John's roundabout, having trotted. I wouldn't necessarily call it a run, but I try to keep the pace high because obviously time's fairly short, but I've got a really bad stitch and felt a bit nauseous a few minutes ago, so I've slowed the pace back down. Fingers crossed. I've not had a chance to look at the tracker for the Jet Black, so fingers crossed it's going to be a little bit later, and advertised. There's been a few buses late today, so hopefully this is going to be one. But I can't bank on that. So heading down Market Street now.
That's the council officers. And down Sheep Street, past the post office, and into the market square. Six minutes to spare. I'm here on the Jet Black to Reading with the Chief Executive of Reading Buses, Robert Williams. Hi Robert, nice to see you. Thanks for
Hello.
taking time out.
No, no
I
problem.
hear you've had a busy day.
Yes, I've been inspired by your ride around and had a little ride around of my own. I've been on our new flight line service from Heathrow to Basingstoke, and then now on the Jet Black back from Newbury to Reading.
Excellent. So, how did you get up from Basingstoke?
I used the Stagecoach Link service.
Ah, right, excellent. So yeah, I got
Yes.
the one back from Greenham Business Park the hour before you did. Then
Right, yes, I guess you must have.
Yeah,
That's
so,
true. And then
yeah.
I used the Rail Air service from Reading to Heathrow.
yeah.
So I've been.
How
on-
long's that been running?
Oh, goodness knows how long. It sort of links the Reading station with Heathrow, so that's been there donkey's years. I don't know how long,
Excellent.
but we don't run that, so that's the first group service, and then
Yeah.
there's a Stagecoach service. So I've been on ours and other people's buses today.
So I've been travelling around, as you alluded to, on all the buses out of Newbury today for free bus Saturday. As a bus operator yourself, how important is it that we champion buses as a public service and encourage people to use buses?
Well, obviously as an operator, it's really important to us to encourage more people to use our services, but I think it's important for the community and the local area as well. It's about reducing congestion, improving the environmental condition situation. Every car that we take off the road halves the amount of carbon that's out there. And in fact, one double-deck bus emits less particulates than one modern car. So if you've got 75 cars off the road, converting people onto the buses really does make a difference to the environment.
Excellent. And with your fleet across Reading buses and Newbury and District, what's your aspirations in terms of developing the fleet and improving it? And I think probably electric buses are probably somewhere way away, but I'm sure you've looked into it.
I mean, our main aim is to basically do as much as we possibly can within our own means. So our brief, we're owned by Reading Borough Council as our shareholders, very unique now in the country to have that ownership model, and our brief is to provide the best possible service in the Thames Valley area. So we do as much as we can around additional features on our buses, particularly on our sort of higher profile routes like the Jet Black service, where we have wood effect flooring and nice ambient sort of conditions on the bus. So it's all about growing patronage. And you say electric might be out of the reach, but as time goes on, I think there are options out there that, particularly for some of the more local services, are deliverable now with the current tech. And then the longer distance routes, that will take a number of years to get there, but it's possible. So we've been working with West Berkshire Council on a bid for electric bus funding, which, if we're successful in that and tendering for the continuation of the local bus network, then it will transform the local network within Newbury in perhaps a couple of years' time.
Wonderful.
There's lots of ifs and buts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How many routes do you run across Reading buses and Newbury?
Oh my goodness! I mean, I think it's probably about 25 routes in Reading that we run, a network of mainly urban and intra-urban routes. And in Newbury, there's about 7 or 8 sort of core corridors, if you like, with the Jet Black being the most high profile, number one.
And the Jet Black is your flagship. And,
Yes.
And those, I think those links between Newbury and Reading that it affords are really important.
Yes.
I know lots of
And
people
that's-
who.
Yeah. It is our sort of, like you say, our biggest, strongest link between the two areas. It's not just about end-to-end travel, because you've got the railway doing that. It's about all the places in between, where actually travelling into town to travel on the railway all the way and then back out, Thatcham to Calcott, for example, is quite easy on the bus and direct, whereas doing it on that on the train, you'd have to go into Newbury and come back out. So you can see where the bus fills the gaps.
Yes.
With that. And there's a lot of people that do those sorts of journeys.
Oh, that's excellent. So we spoke about the bus services. How did you come to be chief executive, and what's your background? Are you in transport and buses?
Yeah, so my career is about 20 years now in public transport and buses, particularly. I started out working for Stagecoach as a placement student, doing work experience basically, and got into the sort of network analysis and planning and sort of numbers side of things quite quickly. Then got into network planning, design, then got into operations and all those different things. So worked for Stagecoach in the end after that placement for 16 years. But my hometown's Reading, and so when the opportunity came up to join Reading Buses, I was like, I've got to go for it. And,
excellent. So
really
local boy come good.
Indeed, exactly.
Yeah.
Gone full circle all around the country and then come back to Reading. So we really love it here as well. It's such a great company and a great team of people to work with.
So you touched on the ownership structure. So could you go into a bit more detail about that?
Yeah, sure. So Reading Buses has been a sort of organisation that was set up in 1901 when what was then the horse tramways were taken over by the local authority in Reading. And it's sort of grown from being a municipal local Reading operation to something that covers the wider Thames Valley area, particularly the travel to Reading area, but places like beyond and the rural network in Newbury. And then we've taken on other companies in that time, and with Newbury District and based in Newbury, we decided that we wanted to effectively replicate the Reading setup in a smaller way in Newbury with its own management team that looks after the local Newbury network itself. So we've got Newbury District, which is a separate company owned by Reading Buses, so it looks after itself, but we obviously provide some support and common systems and fleet strategy and all those sorts of things that sit together. And we do the same with our Thames Valley Buses company based in Brack. And the idea is that we have that sort of local focus that bigger companies don't necessarily have.
Yeah. So how many staff have you got at Newbury District?
So Newbury District, we employ about 60 people, mostly bus drivers. As you can imagine, that's our biggest thing. But we have a small number of engineers and cleaners, office staff, all the other bits and pieces. And then some of the other things that we need is sort of supported by Reading. So across the piece, across the Thames Valley, we employ about 650 people.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thanks
pleasure
for sharing your valuable time, especially on a Saturday.
Well, no, it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was just a little ride out. So thank you as well for spreading the word.
No, that's a pleasure. Thanks very much. Single to Newbury, please.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Cheers. Yeah, no, I'm doing the whole way.
Oh, right.
Parkway to complete the last journey on the 1E, and it's been an amazing day. So thanks everybody for watching this far, and hopefully you enjoyed it.
Here comes Steve Masters' last bus of the day. The busathon draws to a close. He started at 10 to 7 this morning on the X3 to Hungerford, and he finishes now at 10 o'clock at night on the 1E returning from Thatcham. The Wanderer returns. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm knackered, but it's been a really good day and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Had loads of great people, had lots of great conversations, and the common factor amongst it all was that they all love buses and they'd love to see more buses and more frequent buses. But it's been a great day, and thank you everybody for tuning in and all the great words of support and encouragement. Fantastic.